Yo guys, what's up? We're watching the top 3 players against each other. We've got, well, it's not a 1v1v1 FFA, but it is the best human in the world right now, aka No Name, aka Romantic, aka Fortitude. We'll call him Fortitude as that's the name that has seemed to stick the most. This is the best human in the world right now. He is from China, which is fitting because China has always had very strong representation of the human race in Warcraft 3, starting with Sky back in 2004, followed by Infi and TH000, and more since then, including Yumiko. Of course. And Yumiko was very good as well, but it's Fortitude that has, as of recently, been the primary frontrunner of this faction. So very, very cool to watch a series between him and Happy. They've been taking names and games. They've been taking games of each other. It's actually really evenly matched. I don't know the outcome of this series. They have been beating each other in series now and then. This is from a couple of days ago. It is a best of 5 that I believe goes the distance. So let's go check it out. Happy is going to be starting with a Lich first that during most of Warcraft 3's history was not something that you would ever see outside of Undead versus Undead. You see, the idea about Lich first as a starting hero is that this mystical hero is particularly adept at cold magic. He can learn Frost Armor, Frost Nova, Dark Ritual, and Death and Decay, and it's especially the Frost Nova and Dark Ritual combination that is so potent when fighting small health units on the enemy team. Right? Large amounts of small health units is what Frost Nova does the best against, as it has a primary damage on the chosen target of your Frost Nova with less damage on the secondary targets. So Frost Nova excels against ghouls, gargoyles, but also against footmen and militia. The reason we never saw it against human is because it was quite considered that Death Knight must be your opening hero, especially when running a one-base plan. The Unholy Aura did get nerfed a couple of years ago. It's not as fast as it used to be, but it's still very potent, and a high-level coil can help save your Lich as a second hero. But the biggest change of all is a series of balance improvements that was made to Undead being able to fast expand. Sacrificial Skull can now be purchased without a graveyard since a few years ago, and that means that there's now a streamlined economy that allows you to place a Ziggurat before the gold mine starts, as we see here. It's placing the Ziggurat at the 3-minute mark. Otherwise you would have to do gold mine first, which means a 1 minute later Ziggurat starting. Not only that, but he wouldn't even be able to afford the gold mine if he went graveyard into Ziggurat. And if you didn't go graveyard, then he wouldn't have Sacrificial Skull. So you'll just be standing there trying to defend the haunted gold mine. And the reason that didn't work is because human would fast expand, as Fortitude is. They would then walk over, and the gold mine, which right now is 30% in that eventuality, would be 60% by the time human arrives. They'll cancel it, and you've basically lost. However, the early Nerubian Tower allows Undead to delay their gold mine, but be much more likely to either get it up, or if they don't get it up because the human kind of suicides on the gold mine, you'll be able to take your pound of flesh. You'll be able to get a bunch of kills against anything that the human throws at you. So you see that both players are respecting the potential for harass. Used to be people just put down a gold mine, sometimes people put down a town hall and then see whatever happens. That has changed. The Lich is being respected as much by Fortitude as the Archmage rush by Happy. And in fact, Happy is not expanding at all. You know why? I think he's not expanding, even though he has the option to do so, and he's actually gone for attack, because he sees Fortitude is playing a defensive, slow expansion style. It is very helpful when playing RTS games. Once you get to know a little bit more the general styles that people do, and you get to know a little bit more the general build orders that can happen, is to start grouping certain tendencies in categorical categories. So, for instance, the 3 main categories are safe, greed, and aggressive. Safe defensive, greed, and aggressive. Those are the 3 categories of play that you can do. And so, what is an immediate town hall with no arcane tower? That's greed. How do you answer greed? With aggressive or also greed? So I think if he puts down the town hall immediately, Happy can choose to kill a lot of peasants because there's no arcane tower, or he can choose to expand by himself. But what did Fortitude pick? Safe. He made an arcane tower, waited next to it, did not even start his town hall. Then he made the town hall. It's much slower than it could be. And because he elected for safe, Happy chose for greed. He did not choose attack, and he did not choose safe defense. He did not choose expansion greed. Instead, tech greed. It is a kind of greed, right? Like you're optimizing one part of your play, and I call that greed, which is the fastest possible tech so that you can start exploiting higher level technology units against the opponent. So he does lose a couple of ghouls. Nice job. Fortitude kills a couple of ghouls here and there. And I'm learning a lot from this as well, because I like playing human, and I've been facing Lich first, and I have very little experience with that, because for most of Warcraft's life it was always Death Knight first, and Lich has a lot more damage against the footmen and the peasants of this world. So this is tier 2 by Happy, and he's making a slaughterhouse and a Death Knight before going to tier 3. So that's essentially safe, right? He's first getting to establish his healing, then going to tier 3. So he's no longer fast teching. It's a bit slower tech. And that's how human can be very, very powerful during this phase in the game. You get an expansion and you apply pressure and force delay on the enemy tech. It's a pretty impressive combination of factors of gameplay to exploit. And Fortitude is also teching. He's got 0 towers at home, which is a big change from how it was back in 2005, where Infi style meant expand, make 6 to 8 towers in each base, and then go for mass siege tanks. Play has become a lot more evolved in the macro aspect. Masonry upgrade was actually nerfed. And several buffs to Undead expansionism means that you can't really make that many towers anymore. But this still felt crazy, having like no tower for so long, but it makes sense, right? You may not always be able to apply things to your own games, because let's say you're 1100 MMR, right? You lose most of your games, but you win about 30-40%. You probably need more towers there, because someone could just like randomly start swinging at your main base with 4 fiends, and you're like, what the heck is this? Happy doesn't do this. Like, is this even good? Well, no, it isn't. But it's good against you, so you need to be ready for it. So the same rules don't apply exactly. But as we see, while initially Fortitude is teching with just 1 tower in his expansion and 1 scout tower in his main, he has now progressed, or regressed, depending on if this is your favorite style or not. He has progressed into making loads of guard towers, because he's afraid that, and just as I said, things have changed. The world is changing. No, hold up, Galadriel. No, it's not. It's still the same. The world has not changed. There's still mass towers from Chinese humans. Alright, feels good, man. So, lots of guard towers. War never changes. Yes, it does. Oh no, I guess it doesn't. So he's coming in with footmen. A workshop is being made. A couple of buildings in front of the town hall, right? Farms like this are kind of cute because they create these funnel areas that are harder to walk in. Like, it gets a lot harder for any army to squeeze past this gap, or if you try to find a gap here, well, there isn't. Blacksmith makes a full wall. Barracks doesn't, blacksmith does. Kind of this obscure knowledge thing. Yeah, that's a hard base to attack. So what are these footies doing? He's just right-clicking the Tomb of Relics. To me, this looks like Frost Nova bait. You just go here, you Nova, you kill them all. Right? That's a lot of XP. That's 5 footmen. Could I ever imagine throwing 3 ghouls at an undead base in such a cavalier manner? No, but that's the power of the expansion and the follow-up units. At worst, if he loses all the footmen, Lich was forced to go home. Undead misses his timing of Destroyer morphing. And you get your workshops up. You get your siege tanks. Look, Fortitude is extremely aware of what's going to happen. It's a Ghoul Destroyer attack. One Masonry upgrade right now. He targets it with Ghouls and Destroyers. He's going to get one tower. Needs to commit a little bit harder on that first tower. First flying machines are coming in. This is kind of sick. I think this defense is going to succeed by Fortitude. It's kind of wild. That's a lot of guard towers, a lot of peasants that are currently not working. Nice ghoul blocks on the Mountain King. He died. Peasants are here. There's Frost Novas that could come out and kill more peasants. Meanwhile, more workshop flying machines are coming out. Does he have gunpowder yet? Gotta get some gunpowder, son. If you're gonna shoot him with the flying machine. Does have the flak cannon coming. Perhaps he is of the opinion that gunpowder is not a worthwhile upgrade. It's 12% bonus damage for flyings against destroyers. And it's only 100 gold, 100 lumber. Feels like a steal to me. But outside of those flyings, he may not be using gunpowder upgrade much. The question is, how many destroyers are we expecting? Happy right now is staying at 50. He's on 6 acolytes, making an over Zigu, which is to say he's going from 50 under 50 to 50 under 60 in his population count. It's very possible he's not going to get gunpowder because he's looking only to streamline upgrades into plating, which helps knights and flyings, or maybe no upgrades at all. In his mind, he doesn't know how many destroyers there are going to be. He doesn't want to overinvest in a battle that becomes obsolete. Flying machines are faster than destroyer, but aura helps a bit. One destroyer goes down, second one is getting attacked. I don't see any way for Happy to win this, to be honest. If he does, he's a magician. A lot of militia here, a lot of footies. That Stormbolt on Lich was so pathetic, just to stop his damage for a small period of time. So many peasants getting murdered. Now they are replaceable. They do create skeletons, but he does not have a lack of peasants right now. Okay, that was a bit too much. Now you gotta stop. So he's got 3 lumber peasants that can go into the gold. I'm just saying he doesn't have a lumber issue because he has a shredder Fortitude. Still, with the footman guarding the primary expansion location, you gotta wonder if this is gonna be enough. Knights are coming out. Any upgrades yet? No.
Players' forces are under attack.
Flying machines, no attack. Knights, no upgrades. He's finally getting flying machine bombs, which I think costs 50/100, and knight upgrades. So it pretty much seems in line with his expectations that however many flyings he made is more than enough. I actually disagree with him. I know he's like the best human in the world and stuff, but I think based on the numbers, if you're gonna make... How many does he have? 9 flyings? I think it's cheaper and better to make 8 flyings with 1 attack upgrade. But I could be wrong, actually. Let me see. 8 flyings with 12.5% is the same as 9 flyings. But 9 flyings have more health. Maybe it's better. Maybe I agree. If you're gonna make up to 9 flyings, it's probably better not to get an upgrade, since Undead will stop making any destroyers once you win the battle. They're doing little poke damage on statues now. An abomination comes in. Focus fire on the paladin. He's got potion of greater healing pot. He's gonna be able to save himself. Holy light on the lich. Lich! Lich is getting attacked. Ah, it goes down. That's gotta be it, right? There's no way. Surround? The surround on the Dark Ranger. Oh. Yeah. Nice. And Happy is remaking his Lich from the tavern. Usually Happy has protection on the Lich. Potion of invulnerability. Not so right now. He was fully stacked to the gills on damage and mobility. But the protection was on the Death Knight. Knights against ghouls. No animal war training, by the way, on knights. as much as casual players tend to get too many upgrades, as we saw in the Grass League Heroes segment yesterday, I think higher level players tend to skip upgrades when they feel that they need more numbers first. But this might just be an omission. I'm just gonna say I think that he just forgot. He's missing 100 health per night, which is like a 100 gold upgrade. Barracks is idle. Yeah, he's just forgetting. Sometimes people cut corners on purpose to get to some critical number faster. I don't think that's the case. Funnily enough, repairing acolytes draw aggro, as I showed in a recent YouTube short. Repairing workers draw aggro, which can be used to manipulate enemy creeps away from their own creeping in an early game trick, but also becomes a liability while trying to repair your statue while you're creeping. Rock Golem very nearly killed the acolyte. And it's actually really neat to bring one acolyte, to bring extra healing, probably on auto repair, for your statues, because those flyings have been targeting statues a bit. There it is, Animal War training. It finished. Now, branching off into griffins seems smart against abominations, but it's definitely not over. I'm actually very surprised at how even the population count has remained. Happy is at 55. Fortitude is at 56. How is this possible? He had expansion the whole game. The peasant killing has been very effective, huh? Could pull Lumber Peasant from his expo. The abominations also have Disease Cloud, but their miasma doesn't linger enough to affect this far away. You gotta go full culling of Stratholm here. You gotta go full spreading grain of Andorhal here. Get those abominations ass in the human's face. Get that Disease Cloud attached. He's actually got multiple abominations. So maybe my abomination buff of +2 damage will be very happily used by players such as Happy. As much as we never see more than one abomination, or so I thought, here it is. 4 A-bombs. They have the power, the tankiness to stand toe-to-toe with knights. Both sides with Roar Scroll, by the way. A coil on a 1 HP knight, that's certainly an interesting decision. Flying machines with Roar have killed one statue. Acolyte runs away for some reason. Griffins do good damage on abominations, but the Lich is punishing anyone that dares to stand still for a few seconds. I can't believe Happy is winning this. I did just kind of call it. I mean 2 seconds ago, not 3 minutes ago. I did not believe. I do think he is winning this, and I think it's ridiculous. I don't get it. Does he have cannibalize? Is he getting cannibalized? Yes!
Town is under siege.
Enables abominations to use the cannibalize ability. Consumes a nearby corpse to restore health. This is actually so incredibly cost efficient. Wait, did you just cancel it? Or did it finish? Oh, it finished. Look at him. How much is that per second? That's like 20, 30 per second or something. It's crazy good. And no cooldown. You can do it as often as you like. But the water torrents are here. 44 to 52 piercing damage. You can have up to 3. Biggest counter to water torrents are destroyers. The destroyers are still somewhat prevented by the existence of flying machines. And not just the existence of the current flying machines, but also the new ones. No Orb of Fire? Yeah. Orb of Fire would be pretty good. It would actually lower the healing of statues of Unholy Aura. It would even lower the healing of Cannibalize. And of Coil, of course, which is the main one. Griffin's doing really good damage. Nice target firing on the abominations. Knights are slightly better upgraded than abominations. The flyings are somewhere in La La Land. Griffin getting staffed. How many staffs has he got? 3. 3 staffs of Sanctuary. This is such a good game, actually. Like, it's really hard to know who's gonna win. What's he buying? Heal Scroll? Invul. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. 64 population, 49 population. I'm not gonna say it's state-of-the-art graphics, but it holds up, man. It holds up. This footman has been here all this time. I think it actually beats the ghoul, no? With 1-1 upgrades? If they had equal life and not standing on blight? There is frenzy though. Ghouls have a very nice death sound. I wish someone would do a tier list for unit death sounds. I only thought this guy did some for hero death sounds. We gotta know where ghoul ranks. Maybe he'll do it. Staff tonight gets punished, can't move. Ooh, what did he get? Oh, that's a very good item. Ancient Django of Endurance. Second best item he could find. Best being Unholy Aura. Then Endurance, I think. And then the Amulet of Medallion of Courage. The Amulet of the Medallion of Courage. +5 Strength, +5 Int. That would be pretty sick too. Gargoyle. Oh, he wants to recommit to destroyers, so he's actually adding gargoyles. Very resourceful player, this Happy. He should try going pro. 2 attack upgrade for Griffins. 4 Griffins, 2 flyings. He saw the Garg. He's spamming flying machines again. Happy's now on the clock, but he's got 4 destroyers with mana. He can absolutely blow out these 2 towers in just 2 seconds. 1, 3, 5. Fossa. 4 is right out. Oh my god. The economy advantage has disappeared. 62 against 67. He's got 5 population more than Fortitude. Oh my god. Terrifying. Now Fortitude sacrificed everything to make sure destroyers don't have mana anymore. It all comes down to this. Stormbolt on the Death Knight. Griffins targeting flying machines. Griffins are targeting gargoyles. They're not hitting what they should be hitting yet, which is abominations. Now they're hitting abominations. That took a good bit. Meanwhile, flyings are beating the destroyers together with the water elemental. Now, I think he's going to be able to win this Fortitude. DK getting attacked has a lot of protection. But it's just a means to an end to force resources. Griffins are dominating the abominations. I could not foresee this end. Lich has no protection. Oh, double bash. 3 hits, 2 bash. Now that's a video I'd like to watch. Another bash. 35% chance. Bash. 51 population, but I don't think Happy has much left, and doesn't have much mana left on the Lich. Does he still have statues? No, he morphed everything. Oh, it's the big unsummoning. Oh wow, he actually went in to steal the sanctuary buff on the Griffin, but he paid for it with a knight, and not just any knight. It's a Death Knight. Those are the best. Comes back to life, as they do.
Never stop to enjoy watching you, and WC3 feels wow, man.
Wow. Hey, Eric, nice to see you again, man. Wie geht's? Dark Ranger trying to run away. Has silence. Silences the Mountain King, but just gets hit by auto attacks. DK comes back from his long campaign in Northrend. Picked up a cool sword. He's gonna save the homeland with it. But Tyrannus is like, nah, this is over. Fortitude wins game 1. Excellent game. Much closer than I thought it had a right to be. Happy was tenacious to stay in. 1-0 lead for Fortitude.